Hi, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about lighting, flashlights, lanterns, things like that in a grid down situation. And I'm going to come at this a little bit differently than other people do, in that I'm not necessarily going to be talking about the best lights or the brightest lights or whatever. Rather, I'm going to be talking about what I feel to be the best approach to lighting in a grid down situation. If you followed me any time at all, you know that I'm not one to want to necessarily pay what I consider to be too much to get the latest, the biggest, the brightest, the fastest, or whatever. I'm more interested in getting things at a good price that will still serve my purpose, so that I can buy more, so that I can equip other people. I know that there's flashlights out there, and I'm not slamming Surefire and Streamlight and all these others. It seems like everybody in the world is coming out with a flashlight nowadays that's 10 times brighter than the sun. But rather than have one guy, me, with a bright flashlight and other people in the dark, I would rather spend my money to make sure that everybody has a good flashlight. Seems to me that works out better. So I want to show you just a few things that I do, and there's something that they have in common that I think is very important, that I'll mention in a few minutes. If you saw, I think I mentioned in a previous video, I showed you some cheap flashlights that I recommend to people, and I pick them up every year when Home Depot has their pre-Christmas sales on. And I explained at that time how I was able to pick up a whole bunch of these and keep them around, as opposed to one real expensive flashlight. I'd have 10 or 20 of these others that I don't know if they'll last as long as the Surefires and the Streamlights, but I know that they've lasted years and years and years, and and that's good for me, and they give me the light that I need. So I'm going to run through some of these, and you'll see in a minute. This isn't going to be exciting for a couple of minutes, but you'll see in a minute where I'm going with this. You'll see what these have in common. Now this is one that I carry in my pocket. I've carried it for 3 years. The good thing about this is that this takes a couple of AAA batteries, 2 AAA batteries, okay, and it's plenty bright for everything that I need. I get these in packets every year, 2 for $5.99, something like that, and I'm able to get a bunch of them. Okay. This thing that I've carried also for, I don't know, 8 years, right? I got this off of Amazon. Yeah, it's made in China. It was $3.99, and it still works, and it uses a AA battery. Okay. These I got down at Home Depot, and I think these were 3 for $10, something like that, and they take one AA battery. Headlamps. You want headlamps. Are you starting to see the pattern here? Okay. This takes some AAA batteries, and I think that one was $20. That's probably the most expensive one that I have. I don't buy high dollar stuff like this. These, I think, were 2 for I don't know, $4.88 or $8.88 or something like that. AAA batteries. These, my wife got one time. I needed something in a hurry. She ran down to Walmart, and I don't remember why I didn't have one with me. My bad. But she got 2 of these for $4.88 at Walmart. Guess what? AAA batteries. My big flashlight, okay, it's as bright as you would ever need anything to be. AA batteries. Okay, a lot of people would look at this and say, well, it's a D cell or a C cell. No, and that's why I bought it. Okay, I bought it because I didn't have to take different batteries. It has one of these carriers, so you put AA batteries in. What I believe, and I know people that have different flashlights and different whatevers that take all different kind of batteries. I want to standardize the batteries that I need. Well, I'll put that back on later. And when I buy batteries, one place that you can get them is, oh, and also I should add lantern, okay? I get these lanterns, I think these are $7.99, okay? And they take AA batteries, okay? So I don't have a variety of needs in batteries for all my lighting. Now, for things like this isn't real bright, but in a grid down situation, you don't want to be putting out a lot of light, right? You don't need people seeing you for miles around. You want enough light to live by. And these give out plenty. And you can get 3 of them for $21, and they take AA batteries, the same batteries as all of your other flashlights, okay? I buy my batteries at Aldi. If you have an Aldi around you, you're lucky. Trader Joe's is the same company, but I'm not sure if they carry the same stuff. I never go to Trader Joe's. I think they're a little bit different. These batteries, these are AA's, and these are AAA's, and you can get them in the smaller. I think throughout the year they have 8 packs for $2 or something like that, which is a lot less than Energizer and Duracell. And there, he says I wasn't holding them up high enough. There you go. These, I believe, were $3.99 for a 24 pack around, and usually they sell a lot more of them around Christmas time because I guess people are buying them for toys and things like that. And I just load up on these things. Now, these are, like I say, Aldi brand Active Energy. I ran tests on both of these, putting them in flashlights of the same type, and I put them up against Duracell and Energizer, and they lasted exactly the same amount of time. So you can see, you know, if you're buying the expensive stuff, you can see how much more you can get if you go with not necessarily the name brand stuff, and they will give you all the light that you need. Now, people have made, well, I'll get to that in a second. People have asked me about lights on my weapons. Okay, one more thing, going to light sticks. Now, light sticks, I've used all different kinds. I've used, these are just what you get off of Amazon. I've used, of course, the industrial and the military grade light sticks, and to be honest, they all last about the same amount of time. Even if they last longer, you don't usually need them in the daytime unless you're in a cave or you're someplace else. But for the kids, there's an even less expensive way to go. These I got at Dollar Tree. I pulled these out of my daughter's bag, which is why they're pink. But they come in all the basic colors that all the other light sticks come in. And I forget what the others cost. I mean, they're not really expensive, and you ought to have a bunch of them. But these are for $1, and they'll last 12 hours. And you know, when the kids just want to play around with something, somebody's playing the piano in there, that's okay. It's all right. It won't bother us. Hey, this is our house, right? And these last 12 hours, and if the kids want to play with them, who cares? You know, use them up. We're going to go out and cook hot dogs and brats and marshmallows at the fire pit here in a little bit. And if they want to pop a bunch of these open and run around, it's fine with me. So those are things that you can use for $1. If you have a Dollar Tree around you, there's a lot of that stuff down there that you can get. Now, people have asked me about lights on my weapons. I'm an old guy, right? I'm from the old school, back in the old days, okay? We did not put lights on our weapons. I still don't put lights on my weapons. Oh yeah, my director has showed me something else. And yeah, let me talk about that right now. One thing that we also do, and we have a bunch of these are solar lights, and you get these at Walmart for I think 99 cents a piece. So you know, you buy 100 of them or as many as you want to, and these can come apart. You can take this off. You know, if you want to stick it, don't want to stick it in the ground, you can take this off if you just want to use this, and that's great light. We use it even not in a grid down situation. In the summertime or during the sunnier months, we will put these outside during the daytime, and in the evening we bring them inside and we just set one in each one of the downstairs rooms, the front room, the family room, the dining room, and the kitchen. And they put off plenty of light that when we come downstairs, you don't need to turn on a light. Okay? And so there's a lot of people leave on lights around their house, you know, for security reasons at night. Well, you're using electricity. If you want to save a little bit of money, just do this. And they put off a very comfortable light. And it's an even glow throughout the room. And for $1, I don't even know how often we have to replace these, but well, we have some that we've used for a couple of years, and they cost $1. And that's something great to keep around for a grid down situation. And also to keep, I haven't gotten too much into the Faraday cages, but when you buy this stuff, remember that if we were hit by an EMP or a CME, and nobody knows exactly how it would affect these things, get plenty to put in your Faraday cage, because these have circuits in them. Even the LED flashlights, they have circuits in them. The batteries don't. You don't have to worry about protecting batteries, but the others, they have circuits, and if something hits, they're not going to work. But the ones that you've put in your Faraday box or cage hopefully will work. So that's just kind of a trick that we use, and I think you know, you might enjoy it, save yourself some money. Okay, back to talking about lights on my weapons. I don't put lights on my weapons, and I know that all the high-speed guys do. Everybody loves lights on their weapons. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not putting them down. I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing, but I have a different way of looking at it. A light on your weapon is like a tracer. It draws a straight line back to you. And if you're in a situation, in a low light situation, I don't want a line coming straight back to me. Now, when I first trained as a young man, we were, you know, taught to have flashlights, certainly, but we were also told that hold them as far away from our head and our body as we could, because of that reason. We didn't want whoever was trying to shoot back at us to have an idea of exactly where we were. And I still hold to that. I still believe in that policy. I don't want my light, you know, shining a line back to me. So take that for what it's worth. If you disagree, I understand. You were probably trained differently than I, and I'm not going to slam your training. The way that I've done it has always worked well for me. And I tell you, back in the old days, you know, we did the same things that they do nowadays. We did them differently. Very often, where I worked, if we needed to clear a building, we often had to do it by ourselves. And we still got it done. And, you know, if there was a bad guy in there, we still got the bad guy. And we did it with a flashlight, and we did it holding it in our other hand. And it worked out just fine. To tell you, actually, some of the training that we went through, which nowadays probably sounds pretty strange, is we were trained quite a bit in being able to line up our second and subsequent shots by the muzzle blast of our previous shots, the muzzle flash, and it can be done. Now, I would not suggest that, because if you're in a situation that you're having to line up a subsequent shot with a previous muzzle flash, that means you didn't see your target very well the first time, and you probably shouldn't have been shooting at anything. Okay, so, you know, if you're in your house or something like that, you don't want to rely on that. So that was just an interesting story. I don't suggest that anybody do it, but it was just fun. So that's kind of how I feel about lighting. I think that you should get as much as you can good. Now, make sure that, you know, they're good quality stuff, and it will last you a long time. And I've had this stuff for a long time, and so I feel comfortable with it. And a lot of this stuff is the Defiant brand that I got from Home Depot, and like I said, I got some off of Amazon, and they all work great. And by saving money on the individual pieces, you're able to buy a lot more, and you know, have some for the other folks too. So anyway, that's our take on that's my take on lights and flashlights and batteries and lanterns, and the kind of light that you'll want if the grid goes down. And I'm headed out now to cook some brats. And you all have a good night. Oh, well, I'll save that for another one. But I'll leave you now with remembering that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.